Hi, good evening, and welcome back to Prime of Midlife. It is Wednesday evening, and this evening I am talking helping each other. And just in various different ways, but it's a whole bunch of thoughts that I've had as I've probably over since the weekend. And it started with when we were driving down to the caravan, and the start of the journey was motorway. And I was looking at all this land at either side of the motorway and all these trees, and there's no food trees. Why do we not have food trees? Now, obviously, I get it that, you can't have people picking apples at the side of the motorway, but you could have apple trees, pear trees, plum trees, whatever, in various different places. Like in our local town, we've got a country walk, and people have been planting trees there, but they're not food trees. And I get that they want shade for walking and stuff, but wouldn't it be better if it was food trees? Wouldn't it be better if we had blackcurrant bushes on the corners of streets? You know those corners where they maybe have a bench, or they have some signposts with a little bit of grass. Wouldn't that be better to have it for food? I will tell you now, I broke my tripod thing for the phone. So at the moment, the phone is sitting on top of a packet of toilet rolls getting held up by my fingers. So obviously I'm going to end up with a sore arm very soon. Apologies for any wobbles. So yeah, that was me when I was driving down to the caravan. I was like, what a wasted opportunity. And then today there was an article in The Guardian by George Monbiot, and he was talking about something called communalism. Communalism? Yeah, something like that. And basically, there's a whole article about it. Oh, there's a pussycat. A whole article about it, but it basically comes down to small community groups helping each other and running things. So we were talking at work about this because I was like, other people at my work have been saying about how difficult things are going to get, especially when the next price cap comes in, the energy price cap. Now, there's probably about 20 of us at work. How difficult would it be for us to work out whether it's going to be financially viable for, say, everyone to put in a tenner a month? So that's £200. Couldn't we then work out a way to buy in bulk for, say, sugar or tea bags or coffee or pasta or rice? Something that everybody's going to use, that they would possibly buy on a monthly basis. Would it be cheaper for us to get that? Now, because we're quite rural, our nearest Costco is 50 miles away. Our nearest cash and carries are very small, and a lot of the time you're cheaper going to Tesco's or Asda's. So that's something that we'd need to look up. But we're rural. So would it be worth our while speaking to farmers? There's a couple of places here where the farms sell their own butcher meat. Would it be more cost effective if we went and bought a whole lot of stuff? So there's all these sorts of things to think about, and I think that this is something that many more of us should be thinking about, because part of that article I read in The Guardian, the guy was saying, this is what this author said, and this was his way of thinking about it. I'm sorry, I just need to show you this. I'm really not very good with this camera, am I? That is a cat. Just planked herself lying on the bed beside me. That's so cute. I love that. So anyway, yes, back to what I was talking about. One of the things that this George Monbiot had said in his article, after he told you about who the author was, etc., is, and it's something I think he's quite right about, is we have all been turned against each other. there's very little community left. You know, workers are turned against those on benefits. City people are turned against country people. Drivers are turned against cyclists. You know, all this, there's very little community left in our society in the UK. And I think that that is something that the government probably are quite happy about, because they can pretty much do what they want. But I think it's a huge, huge loss for us. So I'm trying to think of, how would you start something like this? Would it be something that you start with your work? Would it be something that you start with your family? Is it going to be cost effective, especially in our case when you're 50 miles away from the nearest Costco? Or, you know, is there maybe, I know that there's a couple of online butchers in Scotland who do really good value meats, because just with the bulk that they send out, would that be worth it? And it's time to get our communities back. It's time to start helping each other instead of people on their own trying desperately hard to get through things. It's time to be able to help each other again. You know, if wee Mrs. McGinty down the road is struggling to get out for her shopping, just go and check that she's all right. Take her in some bread and milk. How difficult can it be? You know, get your kids to start helping the local community instead of destroying it. You know, there's so many things I would say over the last 20 years that a lot of community groups have said, oh, well, let's do this. And within a day or 48 hours, you know, vandals have destroyed it. We need to start getting the kids to be part of the community. It's not going to happen overnight, but we need to start making them think that way. And there just is a whole lot of stuff going on where we're all sitting there going, oh, well, look at that one, look at that one, look at that one. Enough. There's people going to be starving. There's people going to be freezing. And what are we going to do? Say, oh, they deserved it? That's just so wrong. And I know I'm getting all political here, and, you know, it is what it is. I'm sorry. You know, my next video is the jam. I made jam when I came in from work tonight. Oh my God. That was not one of my better ideas, but hopefully it will turn out well. We will find out tomorrow when I find out if it's set or not. But yeah, I think if we do not start now, just even thinking about helping each other and doing communities, then we're going to have a big problem. So any ideas, please put them in the comments below, because I desperately think we need to be able to help each other. Now, whether that's we make a Facebook group to help our local people, whether it's we just do it in families, whether we do it in work groups. How could we do this? How could we help each other? We've got until October, which is not really that far away. How can we help each other when this all gets worse? Because I'm utterly horrified by the thought that my £200 a month is going to be £330 a month. And as I say, I still have disposable income at the moment, not a lot. But come October, that's my cushion gone. I'm done. So anyone who's not on the relatively respectable wage that I'm on, they're really going to struggle. But if we can work together, we can make that struggle easier for all of us. That we're all just putting in the same wee bit. And if there's someone who's maybe unemployed or struggling a bit more or on the minimum wage, then see the little bit extra that we get when we buy in bulk, then we can give that to them to help. So that maybe they only pay £10 every 2 months. And we just make sure that as a community, we make sure everyone's okay. So yeah, that's my video for tonight. I'm trying to work this out in my head, how this works. Because we are going to have to help each other. Because Lord knows the government's not going to. So if you have ideas, please let me know, because I would love to, you know, get a movement going that we are helping each other. We are becoming communities again. I think that needs to happen, and it needs to happen fast. As I say, tomorrow we will be checking on the blackberry jam. because I made that, obviously it was reduced blackberries, so I made that tonight when I came in from work, but it's not cooled down yet, so we need to see if that's going to set. And apart from that, I will catch you later.